Hey there, welcome to Izzo's place. So you might have saw the short where I unboxed this and then used my super speed powers to put it all together. But we got our stand now. So I want to go ahead and do a little review of how you use it, and I'll give you some close-ups of some of the mechanics after we go through an explanation, and we'll see what happens after that. So I have been using this style for a couple of years now. I've got one on my other job site in Florida, and I have found that it works very well. It is not the lightest thing, I will admit, but alright, something's funny there. It's not the lightest thing, but I prefer everything to be on wheels, and I don't want it so light that, you know, it's easy to damage it. Okay, there we go. It seems like I gotta like it this way. Alright, seems like that one belongs there. Oh, okay. For some reason, he's being funny. Probably shouldn't do accents on the channel. Oh, I'm a silly boy. These are upside down. Okay. Fortunately, that is a super easy mistake to fix. Now that's not going to stay. Genius. The boy is a genius. Okay, now it's making sense. It's got a big fat arrow on it. Usually arrows point up, right? But apparently... Well, but I could have also looked at the... Let me show you, it's funny. So I also could have looked at the way the writing's going. And obviously, it's pointing down. Good stuff. Okay, but now we are right side up. And that makes a whole lot more sense. Okay. So the features. It's got a handle back here. I'll give you a tour of this later. You know what? That's still a little bit loose. Let's tighten that up a little bit more. Oh yeah, that's very loose. Let me get the impact wrench. That should do it. Yeah! Alright, let go. Let it go, buddy. Come on out. Wow. It does not want to let go. There we go. Let me just double check this one on top. Okay. Nice and tight. This is nice. You won't be able to see it too easy. So it actually has a key here that you can use to assemble the whole thing if you want. And it fits in there and slides in. So I appreciate it when the company does that. Where if somehow I needed to assemble this and I had no tools with me, I'd actually still be able to do it. It would be a pain in the butt, but I'd be able to do it. Alright, so these are right side up again. So the lifting mechanism is very easy. You know what, I'll turn it around so you can see it. I think you can see it. Okay, so you can see that red there. That's the rubber handle on a lever. So I'm going to push that in, and then to lower it, I have to raise it up all the way, and then I can lower it. And I believe there's two different stops. Let's find out. So push that in, raise. Okay. Don't prove me wrong. Okay. I've probably broken in my other one, so not super surprised that that wasn't easy. So you can't see it because it's off camera, but I'm going to push that lever in and then pull it back up. And I just want to see. Okay. Okay. I think I might have been wrong about two spots. Either that or maybe my old one does, and this one doesn't. Okay, but it's nice and sturdy. Obviously, okay, do things at your own risk. You would not normally do this in a work situation, but it is very sturdy. So I'm 200 pounds. So you can put a pretty hefty saw on that, and it's not going to collapse on you. However, what you just saw, don't do that. Don't use this as a scaffolding. It's not a scaffolding. It's for your saw, not for you. All right, cool. So these when the saw is on here, and we'll do a further review down the road when the saw is on, but these, you can raise these up to give you nice level platform for whatever kind of molding you're cutting. And then, of course, they also extend out, so that way you can handle longer pieces of molding. So the way these work is that this one has a slightly smaller channel than this one, and they slide into each other. So, and the end of this one, the smaller one, is angled, so it should find its center of this no problem. But did you see that it kind of pushed out? So I found that if you put the smaller one on all the way first, and of course tighten it, I found that this one goes in easier afterwards. Okay, now on this side, and you can switch it to either side, this has got a stop on it. So if you have it all the way down, your molding is going to sit on here like normal. But what you can do is you can pull this out to a distance you need a repeated cut at, and then you can bring up this little shield, and then you have somewhere where you could stop your piece of molding here if you need to make repeated cuts of a particular size. All right, let me go ahead and give you a little tour this way. Okay, just wanted to get you in close so you can see some of the mechanics. So here's that lever. So this is what you push, and you push that in whether you're raising or lowering it. This is a nice handle for lifting and also for releasing it. A lot of times I'll keep my foot on these legs when I'm raising and lowering this. Obviously, please watch your pinch points. Do not injure yourself while using such a device. Okay, so here's a close-up on the stand. It's just got a simple knob to tighten and loosen. Same deal over here. Okay. And then this is that stop piece. So you raise this up, and then you set it up where when you bump this, you cut the spot you want, and then you bring your next piece over, boop, and cut it again to get yourself a repeated cut. Now it could be, there's a little bit of play in this. So it's not going to be the most precise thing. This would be more if you're making repeated cuts for rough carpentry rather than finished carpentry, but still very useful. Now these 2 bars, this is where I'm going to install the saw, and in this case it's going to be that saw. And you can loosen them, there's 3 in each bar, and you loosen those and you can move them back and forth however you want. And then this bolt here is how you attach the saw, and there's 2 of those in each bar. All right, let's go back to the, okay, so let me real quick just show you. All right, I'm going to put it down. All right, so to carry it, you carry it in a wheelbarrow type way. So like I said, it's not very light, but the wheels make it very maneuverable. And a lot of times what I'll do is when I get to the van to put it away, is I'll actually put these, boop, I'll put that on the back of the van. I'm booping a lot today. You'd think I was like touching animals' noses or something. Anyway, so I'd put this on the van, and then I would lift that end and go ahead and slide it in. Now on my old one, which is down in Florida, the bottom of these is worn flat because of sliding it like that. But other than that, it has not hurt the stand at all. The other neat thing about this is it'll stand here. You know, so if you're limited on storage, which usually I'm limited on storage because I'm a hoarder and I keep too much stuff, which I'm trying to fix. But if you're limited on space, you can stand it up like this, and it does even hold the weight of the saw in this position. Well, at least my old saw and my old setup. So once we get the saw on, we'll test this and make sure it's still sturdy. But very often I'll leave this at the shop or on the job site when I'm not using it in this up position, so it's out of the way. But I very much like this miter saw cart. It's the second one I've owned, and the one I owned before that was a rigid, and I didn't really have a problem with it. The rigid was actually heavier than this, so that was the only issue with the rigid. It was heavy, and it was I had it for like 15 years, so it was just time to go. And actually, when I threw it out, I think the neighbor, I think he took it, so he could use it. So it lives on still somewhere. But that's all I got for you for this little review until such a point as we put the saw on it, and I'll update you then. But thank you so much for watching. If you're working, work safely. Watch those pinch points and don't stand on miter saw stands. If you're drinking whiskey, please drink responsibly. But do everything with a little bit of whimsy, and you're going to have a good time. I'll see you next time you're hanging out at Izzo's place. Hey there, welcome to Izzo's place. Well, it's time to review my saw, but the saw's on the ground. You don't want to see a tour of the saw while it's sitting on the ground, do you? Well, let's go ahead and put it on this bad boy. Alakazam! Oh, that's not good, that's for later. Let's try again. Alaka-bebop! Well, that's not the right saw. Alexander Hamilton! Well, this is not the way, Mando. Oh well, maybe I'll get it right on the next one. Well, let's just DeWalt. Okay, got it that time.